For Unit 2 next week, we're going to be focusing on characters. Say characters.
Characters.
Now, first of all characters have something called traits. Traits are adjectives that describe that character. Say adjectives.
Adjectives.
Some examples might be kind, greedy, sneaky, respectful. Those are words that might describe the characters that we read about. Their traits help us get to know our characters. If you get to know your characters, it's going to make the story a lot more interesting, right?
Right.
All right, so think about the movie Moana, for example, and the character Moana. Think of a word in your mind right now that's an adjective that describes Moana. Think of a word that describes her. Turn to a partner and share your adjective. So the adjective that I was thinking that I heard a lot of you say was brave. Right? She's so brave. Okay, now characters have something called motives. Say motives.
Motives.
Your motives are the why you do something. They're the reasons for your actions. Okay, it's the reason why you might do something. Sometimes characters keep their motives a secret, and they don't actually say what's motivating them, and you might have to infer what motivates them. Now, your motives lead to your actions. The actions are the things your characters do. Action words are called, anybody? Verbs. Okay. So you're going to be looking for the verbs that your character does, the actions that they do, and also the decisions that they might make. Use my black. Now our motives lead to our actions. I want you to think about how motives are connected to actions. Can you have an action without a motive? Okay. No. Think about how they are connected for a moment. Turn to a partner. So our motives lead to our actions, and our actions lead to something called consequences. Say consequences.
Consequences.
The consequences are what happens after or as a result of the action. So when I see this, my brain immediately thinks of cause and effect, right? We learned about cause and effect using the story, what was it, Election Day?
Yes.
And how the cause happens first and the effect is a result of that cause, right? So our actions are kind of like the causes, and the consequences are kind of like the effects. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now your consequences can be good or bad. I know when you hear the word consequence, you automatically think, uh-oh, right? What are the consequences? But sometimes the consequences of our actions can be good. Say that my action is I was a peace builder all month long. And the consequence for that was I got student of the month. It's a good consequence, right? It's a good effect of my action, my cause. Okay? So now let's head over to this side of our map. Every single story that you read is going to have a character that faces a challenge. If you didn't have a challenge, you wouldn't have a story. It wouldn't be interesting. So your challenges are kind of like the problems or the conflicts that a character might face. It means that the character is working through something. And this is where our actions tie in. If the character is facing a problem, they're going to react to it. They're going to try to solve that problem, right? And they're going to solve that problem through their actions. Sometimes their problems or their challenges can be bad. Sometimes it can be a good challenge that they're overcoming. Either way, those challenges are going to help them grow. They might even learn from the challenge. And these challenges advance our story. They tell the story. It makes the story move forward. Okay? So going back to Moana, her main challenge was to restore the heart of Tafiti, right? And she had to go and get it back from Maui, right? I think. I've only seen that movie like 20 times, so correct me if I'm wrong. So that was her conflict. It was her challenge. It wasn't necessarily a bad challenge, but it was something that she had to overcome. It was something that she was going to have to work on. Okay? Now, at the end of most stories, there's a lesson or a solution where the problem is solved. If you have a problem in a story and there's no solution, it's going to sound unfinished, right? There's got to be that happy ending, or at least some kind of ending. In the ending, in your lesson, it's what the character learned. It's the moral of the story. Say moral.
Moral.
Another word that we use for moral of the story that you'll see a lot in our textbook is the central message. Say central message.
Central message.
And I can connect this to main idea because we've talked about main idea a lot as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the main idea, the big idea, the central message is also kind of like the moral, okay? And your story is always going to end with a change. Either the characters have changed, a relationship has changed, but it's not going to...
Is it still going?
I don't know. But it's not going to basically go back to the way it started. You're always going to notice a change in your solution, okay? So, turn to a partner in a moment. Think about a story that you've read or a movie that you've seen, not Moana, that has a character that has to face a challenge, and then how they overcame it. What was that solution? What was that lesson? So give yourself a moment to think before you turn. Think about a character that overcame a challenge. What did they learn? Okay, turn to your partner.
It is still going.
Okay,
Yeah.
I guess it was.
Yeah.
Okay, let me hear from you. What did you share with your partner? Ani.
I said that Belle, because she had to face a challenge to try to make everybody believe her that the beast was actually kind and warm-hearted.
Josh?
Mine was Star Wars The Force Awakens, and Rey was trying to find Luke Skywalker.
Oh, okay, Star Wars.
Oh.
Owen?
Indiana Jones, the temple
to
It's a
get
scary
the
movie.
stone back to the village.
I saw that movie when I was a kid and it scarred me for life. Ella, back there.
I thought of a movie where two people have to face a challenge. Frozen.
Oh.
Anna has to get her sister
That's a good one.
to unfreeze the world, and Elsa has to try to
Yeah, good. That's current. Okay, I love all your enthusiasm, but we have to move on. So just to recap our poster here, next week we're going to learn all about characters and their traits that describe them. We're going to learn about what motivates them, what causes them to act, and then what are the consequences of their actions. We're going to examine the problems and the challenges that they face, and we're going to see how they work through those challenges and learn from them. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, it's going to be a fun unit. All right, let's turn this off.
No, it's dead. It's quiet. There it goes.
There we go. Thanks.